Welcome to Sir Betterment, where we bring you financial, motivating, and betterment knowledge. In this video, we'll talk about Michael Jackson and his lavish lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get into it. The late great Michael Jackson was one of the few people to reach such dizzying heights of fame and fortune. The so-called King of Pop supposedly lived a life of incredible wealth and luxury, fueled by his extraordinary success and fame. He is widely considered one of the most culturally significant and influential musicians of all time. Throughout his remarkable career, Jackson amassed a fortune, and even after his death, his legacy continued to generate millions. In 2018, the singer's estate earned an estimated $400 million, making him the highest-paid deceased celebrity in the world, according to Forbes. However, the Thriller singer was really millions of dollars in debt at the time of his death in 2009. After his untimely death, many of his items were auctioned off, offering fans a rare look into the King of Pop's extravagant spending habits. So how did Jackson spend his fortune? We'll look at some of the most expensive, unusual, and surprising things he bought throughout his life. But first, let's get to know Michael Jackson more. Michael Jackson Biography. Michael Joseph Jackson was born in 1958 on the 29th of August. Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, had a complicated fate. He was born into a household that struggled to make ends meet. His mother, Catherine, was a famous singer. His father, Joe Jackson, was famous for his ill temper. The Jacksons were a large family. The performer was the youngest of 8 children. Michael went to school at Montclair Prep in Van Nuys, California. From a young age, he had a passion for music. The majority of Michael Jackson's family members are musicians. Their curiosity was sparked by their father, who had a musical background in his youth. The future star made his first appearance with the band Jackson 5. Its formation was Joe Jackson's idea. As a result, Michael Jackson started making money when he was just 13 years old. Although Michael Jackson enjoyed performing with the Jackson 5, the group's once huge popularity had begun to wane. His father, who already had a reputation for having a short fuse, grew more violent toward his son. That's why Michael Jackson went out and became a celebrity on his own. Soon he shook the world with his album Thriller. The celebrity amassed a net worth of $600 million during his illustrious career. However, the great Michael Jackson fell from grace after embroiling in a public sex scandal. He died from an overdose which caused a heart attack. 6 years after his death, Michael Jackson is still among the world's highest-paid celebrities. Now, we're done getting to know the King of Pop. Let's now focus on how he spent his money. Starting with Michael Jackson's most famous home, Neverland Ranch. Probably the most well-known purchase Michael Jackson made was the massive California property that would become the Neverland Ranch. Jackson's own amusement park, petting zoo, and 3 railways were all part of his 2,700-acre ranch, which served as his home for many years. The legendary musician reportedly paid $17 million for the property in 1988 and spent another $35 million on renovations. At the time of his death, Jackson still owned Neverland, but by 2015, the estate was up for sale with a price tag of $100 million. In 2020, it was sold to billionaire Ron Burkley for a much lower price of $22 million. Of course, Michael Jackson needs to travel in style to match his title as the King of Pop. Michael Jackson cars. Here are some of Michael Jackson's cars in his collection. Number 1. 1988 Lincoln Town Car. Jackson's 1988 Lincoln Town Car was just one of several limousines in his collection. Although he never personally drove any of these vehicles, he always delegated driving duties to trusted associates. The singer took great care to modify them to match his taste. Jackson's white Lincoln Town Car had a more modest interior than some of his previous cars, with a unique interior including a gray leather and fabric finish and all the latest mod cons for his comfort. Number 2. 1990 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur 2. The Rolls-Royce Silver Spur 2 limousine is the kind of luxurious ride befitting the king of pop. But Jackson's Silver Spur 2 from 1990 was nothing like the average one. However, some would argue that there is no such thing as an ordinary Rolls-Royce. The singer had redesigned the interior from top to bottom, installing white leather seats against a dramatically contrasted black trim and 24-karat gold decorations. The black windows of the automobile were so heavily tinted that the paparazzi had practically no chance of getting a photo of Jackson. Number 3. 1999 Rolls-Royce Silver Seraph. Another luxurious and over-the-top limousine in the Jackson car collection is the Rolls-Royce Silver Seraph from 1999. It seemed that the king of pop hadn't done anything to customize the car from the outside, but once you stepped inside, you could see the lavish lifestyle he was used to living. Leather seats, a deep blue interior with wood fittings, and 24-karat gold accents marked the unique interior of this Rolls-Royce Silver Seraph. After Jackson's death, it was estimated to be worth $140,000 and placed up for sale. Number 4. Lancia Stratos Zero. The Lancia Stratos Zero was another Michael Jackson favorite that had a starring role in one of his videos, though it couldn't have been any different from the clunky 1970s AMC Matador. He presumably picked the one-of-a-kind Lancia Stratos Zero because it appeared to have rolled off the set of a science fiction movie for his offbeat Moonwalker film, despite being constructed in 1970. After making its premiere at the Turin Motor Show in 1970 as a concept car for the Lancia Stratos HF, the vehicle spent most of its life in museums across the globe. One strange thing about Michael Jackson is that he spends his money on weird things. Here are some of his crazy purchases. Number 1. Animals. Jackson acquired quite a collection of domesticated and exotic animals throughout his lifetime. The documentary Searching for Michael Jackson's Zoo with Ross Kemp recently aired on ITV, investigating the fate of the Neverland Ranch's zoo animals. Several animals were at Neverland Ranch, including Jackson's most well-known pet chimpanzee, Bubbles. The Jackson's Zoo was said to include as many as 50 different animals at one point, including giraffes, tigers, alligators, and even elephants. Number 2. The amusement park and arcade. In addition to the roller coasters, bumper cars, and Ferris wheel, Jackson's Neverland Ranch visitors would have also found a large arcade with all the latest games and prizes. The arcade, located in the ranch's pool house, featured a massive selection of arcade games and rides that guests could enjoy. Number 3. Movie memorabilia. Jackson was a big movie fan. The pop megastar bought the 1939 Gone with the Wind Oscar Award for Best Picture for a reported $1.5 million. But in 2016, after his death, it was reported missing. Jackson spent a large sum of money on several pieces of cinema memorabilia. The original pair of Scissorhands gloves used by Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands is one of the most surprising items in his collection. The gloves were auctioned off after Jackson's death and are said to have fetched as much as $5,300. Number 4. Life-size superhero action figures. Jackson's collection of life-size superhero figurines is undoubtedly one of the most unusual things he has ever purchased. In his collection, he had sculptures of crime fighters like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and even Bruce Lee. There was also a villainous and life-size Darth Vader. So what do you think? Does his #1 status affect his extravagant spending? And will his legacy as the King of Pop live on? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. Also, click the subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. See you at the next one.